Columbus Island. This is our project on the 1920s. Post-World War I America was a forgetful nation, ready to move past the world's recent dark years and on to bigger and better things. Isn't that right, Jeff? Alright. What do you think about that? Of course. The war ended in 1918, and as the 1920s approached, the people of America's mindsets began to change. The world economy began to skyrocket as trade embargoes were lifted, and technological increases allowed for more efficient business practices across the globe. The people in America took advantage of these changing times, which is why this era is now known as the Roaring Twenties and resembles the time period known as the Gilded Age. The 1920s had many successes economically, socially, and politically that were at the core fragile and misled, which caused a decline in the next decade. Hello, Ms. Lambert. Can we free to speak up?
Culture was rapidly changing in America during these years. The abandonment of fundamentalist values in the cities led to new
I can't tell.
social norms such as clappers and jazz music. In previous years, these two practices would have been called evil and wild. However, with a changed perspective on life after World War, they were taken in with open arms by the urban population. The speakeasy scene and the bootleggers took advantage of the temperance movement and became the largest business in America at the time. These two changes led to a cultural shock amongst different groups that caused a rift between many different parties.
There was much debate going on in the years over political policies.
Where was that?
Immigration was especially a heated topic. Immigrants and nativists did not get along, which caused much conflict. Prohibition and the temperance movement were strongly followed by women and rural inhabitants of the time, which was yet another rift between the people living in the cities and the people living in the country. These two groups would constantly fight politically and led to a state of gridlock. Political parties of this time were sensitive to both sides and caused a lack of trust that led to an eventual downfall of human interaction when the crash occurred.
Yeah.
Why would I not?
I didn't know Carl.
Alright, yeah.
Alright, when talking about the 1920s, the main topic brought up is the booming economy. The stock market was hitting record highs and everyone and their brother were investing on Wall Street. Businesses were able to be more successful with modern business practices and new technologies that allowed them to be more efficient in previous years. However, with this influx of money coming in from stocks, people began to invest money that was not theirs. Credit was being used too often, which was the main cause of the economic crash in 1929.
That's my signing thing, dude. That's for college. That's for me to sign.
The 1920s were a time of cultural revolution, political hotbed, and an economic rise doomed from the start. These three topics are why this time period is often referred to as the Second Gilded Age. If people had been smarter with investing their money and not taking loans out to buy stock, the market could have flourished healthily and possibly have never crashed. The 1920s was a beautiful disaster with some successes but many failures. What do you think about that, Jet?
Hey, it's acting out, you can't talk!
What about you, Grant? What about you, Kyle? What do you think about that?